Hello, I'm ABX Toycat, and welcome back to Q&A Saturday. Q&A Saturday is a weekly series I run on my channel where I answer your questions about a variety of subjects, usually centered around the next update for Minecraft console. All of these questions do come in from either last week's Q&A, or it's like 3 weeks ago Q&A, or they come in from Twitter, where I put out specific tweets, and if you respond to those, then that's how you have a chance going against this. So if you have any questions for next week, please do leave them in the comments down below. Please do make them mostly like, non-next update related, because I figured I'd try and do a mix again today, but I want to kind of just do a full, unrelated questions thing, because I figured it'd be cool to try and Q&A that way. So yeah, with that said, I hope you do all enjoy this week's Q&A Saturday. If you do, like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like the Q&As. But with that said, let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's start with the very first question here, which comes in from Tommy Coveney, who asks, are you excited about the Xbox One S and the PS4 Neo? So if you don't know, these two consoles were really heavily hyped going into E3, like, oh, the PS4K and the Xbox, whatever they were called now. But yeah, basically they're just slim versions of the existing consoles that can do HDR, which really isn't that big of a deal. If you don't know, every console generation they kind of refresh it with a new kind of console. If you already have one, and I have both of those, it's not really too big of a deal. I might end up buying the Xbox One S just because it's a lot slimmer and it's easier to travel around with. But I'm not excited about either one. They're just the same console but smaller. And the Xbox One Scorpio, which he mentioned in the comments he might also be excited about, that's something I'm kind of interested in. I feel like as someone who has a PC, it's not necessarily aimed at me, but it's something I might give it a try, especially if they release something cool and exclusive. And yeah, basically I'm a little bit excited about the Xbox One Scorpio, but slim versions of consoles, that's the least exciting thing in the world. So yeah, with that said, let's move into the next question, which comes in from Tom B, who asks, at IBX Toycat, with the launch of mods and servers in 2017, do you think 1.9 for console will release before or after? So I've mentioned this in a video already, at least it should have come up by now. But yeah, basically, do I think 1.9 for console will release before or after that? It will be out before, almost certainly, because 1.9 has been in development since, TU31 finished, or at least a little bit afterwards, and that means that 1.9 should be coming out before the end of the year, and before the end of this year is before 2017. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 1.9. You might even see 1.10 before Realms comes out, because 2017 is such a vague date. In my head, that means mid-2017, but it could mean late 2017, it could mean literally January the 1st, who knows, it's hard to tell. But that's what I know so far, and that moves us nicely into my next question, which comes in from Last Magic Unicorn, who asks, at IBX Toycat, what is your birthday and how old are you? So I turned 21, or I'm 20 currently, but I turned 21 in literally less than a week, next Wednesday I believe it is, the 13th of July. So yeah, that is when my birthday is, if you want to send me a birthday wish, or I don't know what you can do for my birthday. If we want to say happy birthday on that day, you can do it. So yeah, with that said, let's move to the next question. By the way, I'll probably be doing something weird and special, which means that there might not be anything on YouTube. I don't even know. But with that said, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from Lindsay Fossum, who asks, at IBX Toycat, will you take Cookie with you when you move into your own home? So this is a question I figured I'd get around to, because one, I'm really tempted, I have permission to, because Cookie seems to like me a lot more than most of the family, but the actual home thing, it's something I want to kind of address, because I mentioned this at least a few times in videos. It was almost 8 months ago when I first mentioned it, and then I finally found somewhere as recently as I only found somewhere in the last couple of months, and now I put the offer in it. It's all going through the process, but buying a house is this amazingly complex thing. You think it is just, okay, so you go to the bank, they say, yep, you can have this money, and then you go to the person, you give them the money, they give you some keys. It's a billion times more complex, and I've been slowly working through it. If this does all go through, I'll probably be moved in a few, in the next couple of months, or some point then. But yeah, it's gonna be a really, really long time before I actually get to live in the house, even though I've bought it, and it's a strange process. But yeah, I'm working on that. I don't know if it's gonna, something could magically go wrong. There's a lot of steps where they could be we just hate this, and let's just hope they don't do that. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to. In fact, just a tiny little anecdote from today as I record this. I just got a message from them saying, oh yeah, someone's come to pick up the keys, and I ask who, and they're this random brand name. I'm well, I guess they're probably meant to be there, and it's just there's so many steps that are hard to understand, and this is after I've done a bunch of research. The pro tip here, if you want to buy a house, I don't know, just don't. Easy as that. So with that question out of the way, and your little bit of a house update, and I guess that's a life update, because that's the big thing that I have to do something with, whether it's filling out a stack of paperwork, or whether it's working out something that I kind of do with a lot of my life these days. But yeah, with that said, let's move to the next question, which comes in from H Universe, who says, #Q&A, what title update do you think mods for consoles will be coming? So this is a question I've had a whole bunch. Sorry, that was a bit too long. But I've had this one a whole bunch over the past, like 4 or 5, I guess, like, months, yeah. I've just had this question all the time, when will mods be coming? And for the longest time, I just had to say, well, we don't know. They've hinted at it, but not yet. But now we know add-ons are coming to the Pocket Edition, and they're going to be replicated on the console. I don't know if we got the official release date of 2017, or if they just hinted they'd be there. But yeah, we know they're coming, and if I had to guess, let's play that guessing game again. Title update 59. That's the add-ons update. Keep that in your diary. I don't know how you can write that down. That's when I assume it's going to be coming, and realistically, well, I'd say at some point next year, presumably alongside Realms, maybe just afterwards, maybe before. But yeah, because it is a new opportunity for them to make a tiny bit of money, I imagine they're also going to be wanting to move it forwards as fast as possible, which, again, it's one of those small little benefits. So yeah, I think they'll be coming in Title Update 59, and realistically, if you want more specific than that, because that's not very specific, I'd say next year. So yeah, with that also said, the next question comes from Dr. Blockter Games and More. This question is like literally 1/10 or something like that. All questions I get asked, and it's every single week, no matter how many times I answer this. But he says, Dr. Blocker Games and More, hashtag Q&A, will we ever get custom skins on console? And usually I just have to say the same thing, like, well, they said copyright reasons, and now they sell skins, so what are we going to do about that? But what might happen, because Xbox Live Integration is pushing the console versions and the Pocket Edition kind of into the same game, and this is really good news, because it means that what might happen is your skin might be tied to your Xbox Live account. Right now, I think it's a separate skin on iOS and Android, but eventually they might just tie it to be one Xbox Live account ID, and this is really cool, because then there'd be no reason that you couldn't have that skin on the console, and that makes me think that eventually you might be able to have, your custom skin from the Pocket Edition on the console. You won't be able to upload it to the console, but still, it's something to hope for. Will we get custom skins on consoles? Instead of being like, no, it is probably not, and that's an upgrade for me, and it's an upgrade for anyone that wants a personalized skin that you know you're never going to get a skin pack, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, with that said, let's move to the next question, which comes in from Oscar, who asks, yes, Toycat, right, but this is spinning around for good reasons. Aren't llamas just the best, and also, can you bring back the tilted questions? So yeah, he said he wanted the question tilted, but I think I tilted it a bit too much, and I realized the joke is lost if you can't read it before it comes out. But yeah, there's your tilted question. But yeah, the thing about llamas, are they just the best? They are actually. Like, I don't know, like, you might hear all these jokes about llamas, be like, well, llamas aren't too cool, but llamas are a majestic animal in real life, and you need to go pet one at some point. Side note, actually, I actually had, another question saying, like, so Toycat, what's the story behind llamas? And I want to kind of address that one too, because I know a lot of people now, like, it just makes no sense, it's just a weird animal thing, but the genesis of the joke is that at one point, llamas seemed like they were genuinely confirmed Minecraft console, because 4J just replied to someone asking for llamas in the game with a winking face. They've removed that tweet since, which is a little bit weird, but yeah, it's just one of those little bizarre things where it's like, well, that is something that happened. So yeah, that is the answer about why llamas are that, and there's your tilted question. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope hope that was worth it. So with that said, let's move to the next question from Lewis SC2, who asks, out of EX Toycat, are sharpness 3 shears better than a wooden sword? So yeah, there's a few battle mode questions I figured I would get answered here, and this one is the most important one because it seems slightly counterintuitive, but a sharpness 3 shears or sharpness 3 sticks is better than a sword. And when you think about it, that means that a sharpness 3 stick is just a stick that's so sharp it's sharper than a wooden sword. And really, you could call the sharpness 3 stick a sword. But yeah, they're slightly more damaging by 0.25 hearts. It's never gonna come to that in my opinion. Like those 0.25 damage isn't gonna win you a fight. But if you want to have the extra damage, you get that with sharpness 3 that you with shears, which you don't get with a wooden sword. But a wooden sword can block, so that's the kind of trade-off there. So sort of, but not really, Lewis SC2, which moves us nicely into the next question, which comes in from the Crazy Chameleon, who says, #Ask Toycat questions. So Cat, what did you have for breakfast yesterday? And do you think that at some point that Minecraft console will have chat? So, what did I have for breakfast yesterday? That's a nice easy one. Yesterday, as I record this, I had pizza for breakfast. It was tuna pizza, which I know a lot of people think is some abomination, but I love me some seafood on pizza. And second of all, do you think that at some point Minecraft console will have chat? Simple answer, long answer, I really, really hope so. So yeah, that's the answer to your question. Let's move to the next one, or the final one, which comes in from Sword King 090, who says, at IBX Toycat, what minigame do you want to see implemented next on console platforms? So I've said Skywars a whole bunch of times, and I really do believe that, but if it has to be non-PvP, which I really get the impression it should be, I would love to see speed builders. I'd love to see something which, has replayability in the same way Battle does, but in some entirely different way. So Build Battle, for instance, I hate because it's down to the voting, and there's no real winning to it. It's just, you know, popularity more than that, and that's not too great. I'm not too great at the whole popularity thing. And when it comes to speed builders, I think it is down to being good and making something but work that way. So yeah, I'd love to see speed builders. I think that might come down to like stealing from a server. So realistically, I'd like them to invent something unique but also cool. Whether they can do that or not, because, you know, Battle is a big improvement on Hunger Games. Maybe they can take an existing, you know, a popular minigame and make it better for the consoles. Who knows, though? That's something we're going to have to wait and see. And I think we'll learn by the end of this year, or at least we'll see our first peak by the end of this year. So, yeah, exciting times ahead on that one, in my opinion. But yeah, that was the last question in Q&A Saturdays today. So I hope you did all enjoy this. If you did, like it and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. As this goes up, I am, in fact, in Sweden, and you've probably seen a live stream already, so this seems a bit weird to say this. But I did have to record this before I went, because obviously words and stuff. I just want to clarify, yeah, if you have any questions for next week, please do try and make them about, I guess, just gaming in general, Minecraft in general, myself in general. Any personal questions? Want to know what my favourite breed of cat is? I think I've already mentioned that a billion times. But, you know, the questions like that, please do. Because I want to give Q&A Saturday like a different kind of try. A lot of people have been mentioning they really like it in the other forms, and I think that would be something we should try and do. So that's something that you'll see in the next, like, week. Oh, yeah, in fact, exactly a week from now. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully all of you are too. But until then, this video does have to end at some point, and that point is now. Goodbye.